Students, in this video I am going to discuss about biodiversity, diversity in the living world and the domain system, biological domain system. So now first start with the biodiversity. What is biodiversity? Diversity in the living world, that is biodiversity, refers to staggering diversity and enormous variety found in living organisms. So now what is biodiversity? What is biodiversity? It refers to the staggering diversity and enormous variety. Diversity and enormous variety found in living organisms. Okay, so what is biodiversity? It refers to the staggering diversity and enormous variety found in living organisms. Now, scientists have identified and named 1.7 to 1.8 million species of living organisms. Of these, about 1.2 million are animal species and 0.5 million plant species. The single group of insects, however, outnumber all the plants and other animals. This group contains about 1.025 million species. Every year, more than 15,000 new organisms are discovered. So, scientists have identified and named about 1.7 to 1.8 million species. Species of living organisms. Living organisms. Okay. Of these, about 1.2 million are animal species and 0.5 million plant species. Okay. This single group of insects, the single group of insects however outnumber all the plants and other animals. All the plants and other animals. This group contains about 1.025 million species. Okay. Every year, more than 15,000 new organisms are discovered. Okay. So, this is biodiversity. Now, come to the 3 domains of life. Three domains of life. Okay. So now, 3 domains of life. What is it? Concept of 3 domains of life was proposed by Oz. Concept of 3 domains of life. 3 domains of life was proposed by Oz. And others. 1969. It presents an evolutionary model of classification based on an evolutionary model of classification based on difference in the sequence of nucleotides in the cell's ribosomal RNAs, that means rRNAs, and another one is lipid structure of cell membrane and its sensitivity of to antibiotics. So, number 1 is difference. In the sequence of nucleotides in the cells ribosomal RNAs, that is rRNA, and another one is lipid structure of Repeat structure of cell membrane and its sensitivity. To antibiotics. Okay. So now these domains are archaea, that means archaebacteria, bacteria which is also known as eubacteria, and the last one is eukarya or eukaryota. So these domains are archaea, archaebacteria, next bacteria, which is popularly known as eubacteria, and another one is eukarya. Which is also known as eukaryota. So now start with archaea. Sorry. Domain archaea or archaebacteria. Domain archaea or archaebacteria. These are the most primitive forms. These are the most primitive forms their cell membrane is composed of of branched hydrocarbon chains attached to glycerol. Chains attached to glycerol. Next feature of archaea is their cell membrane has no peptidoglycans. Their cell membrane has no peptidoglycans. Archaea are not influenced by antibiotics. Archaea are not influenced by antibiotics. That destroy bacteria destroy bacteria now next their rRNA is their rRNA unique and much different from bacterial rRNA and much different from bacterial rRNA from bacterial rRNA. Now next, archaea live in extreme environment. Extreme environment. Now I am going to give some examples of archaebacteria. Examples are methanogens, halophiles, and hyperthermophiles and hyperthermophiles, etc. Now next domain is bacteria or eubacteria. It composed of, that means their features are, their cell membrane is composed of unbranched fatty acid chains attached to glycerol. Their cell wall is formed of peptidoglycans. Bacteria are sensitive to antibiotics. Next feature is net DNA molecule lies in the cell cytoplasm. Another one is bacterial rRNA is unique and distinctly different from rRNA of archaea and eukarya. And number 6 is bacterial ribosomes are 70S type. So now next domain is bacteria or eubacteria Okay, the features are, their cell membrane is composed of unbranched fatty acids, chains attached to the glycerol, And next, their cell wall is formed of peptidoglycans. Their cell wall is formed of peptidoglycans. Now next, bacteria are sensitive to antibiotics. Bacteria are sensitive to antibiotics. Next feature is necked DNA molecule. Necked DNA molecule lies in the cell cytoplasm. In the cell cytoplasm. Next feature is bacterial rRNA is unique. Bacterial rRNA is unique and distinctly different from rRNA of archaea and eukarya. rRNA distinctly different from rRNA of archaea and eukarya. Next feature is bacterial ribosome at 70S type. Bacterial ribosomes are 70S type. Now some examples of bacteria are eubacteria include mycoplasma, cyanobacteria, that means blue-green algae, blue-green, gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria and gram-negative bacteria, etc. In my next video, I will discuss about the another domain, that is eukarya or eukaryota. So now, bye students.